you hear the distant voices of the monks reading sutras and a sound of raindrops gently hitting the leaves. It'll be an experience that you will never forget. 皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Let's Ask Shogo. Japan has all 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And they each have different ways to enjoy them. You might be hoping to see the cherry blossoms in spring, going swimming in the ocean in summer, enjoying the orange leaves in autumn, or skiing in winter. However, Japan not only has these 4 seasons, but also a rainy season called Tsuyu, in between a change from spring to summer. In my past video where I talked about Golden Week, I mentioned that this season was a not to travel time of the year. But if you take a closer look, there's actually much more to learn about this important season in Japan. So today, I will explain why Japan has a rainy season at this time of year, as well as things to be careful about to stay healthy. Also, at the end of the video, I will explain 3 of my recommended ways to enjoy the rainy season. So I hope you can stay with me till the end. This video will be perfect for those who are planning on traveling to Japan during Tsuyu, and especially if you're going to be living in Japan someday. それでは本日も参りましょう。First, let's start from talking about what Tsuyu is and why it happens. According to the Japan Meteorological Agency, the definition of Tsuyu is a seasonal phenomenon in which the transition from spring to summer causes more rain and less sunshine than before and after that period. Yeah, this is very easy to understand. So simply said, it is the rainy season from around June to mid-July, caused by the seasonal rain front called Bayou Front. Depending on the year, it could be rainy or cloudy for about 2 to 3 weeks straight. If you live in Japan, every year you will see information about Tsuyuiri and Tsuyuake on weather forecasts. Just like in the spring seasons, the media will tell you when the cherry blossoms are in full bloom, or how much pollen there is in the air for people with allergies. But what is a seasonal rain front? At this time of the year, the cold air from the Arctic Sea and the warm air of the Pacific Ocean will hit each other, and the stationary rain front will form. However, unless you're going to be a meteorologist, I think remembering that during June to July, the cold air from winter and spring and the warm, humid air from summer hitting each other creates rainy clouds is enough. The rainy season also happens in Eastern Asia areas, such as China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. There are many countries and regions that have a rainy season and a dry season, but the regions with 4 seasons and the rainy season between spring and summer are limited to the countries I mentioned earlier. By the way, the warm air high above the Pacific will eventually get stronger as the temperature rises, pushing the rain front to the north, which will be the timing when summer arrives. So once Tsuyu ends, the hot and humid summer will immediately start in Japan. Then, before we move on, let's talk about why we call the rainy season Tsuyu. Tsuyu is written like this in Japanese. The first character, ume, means plums, and the second character, ame, means rain. Why plums? There are many different theories about this, but it is believed that in China it was originally written meiyu, which means mold rain, because the humidity of the season causes things to mold. However, calling a time of the year the mold season isn't very beautiful, right? So this may have been the reason why Some people have changed the kanji character from mold to plum that had the same pronunciation, because the rainy season is really the timing when they would pick ripe plums. You may have seen anime or game characters having names or using attacks called samidare. But this was the original way the Tsuyu season was called in Japanese. When this word was born, Japan was still using the lunar calendar, so Tsuyu was in May. Next, let's talk about the things you must be careful about during the Tsuyu season. Because it will be cloudy or rainy for a few weeks straight, there are some disorders that might be caused by the increasing heat and humidity. I will introduce the 3 most important things to look out for. 1. Physical and mental conditions. 2. Outbreak of bacterial food poisoning. 3. Increase of mites and molds. 1. Physical and mental conditions. During the Tsuyu season, due to the sudden change of the temperature, atmospheric pressure, and high humidity, many people experience bad physical and mental conditions caused by the disorder of the autonomic nervous system. Feeling tired easily, headaches and loss of appetite, stiff shoulders, back pain, joint pain and neuralgia, depressed mood. Unless you are Storm from X-Men, you can't change the weather. So these are things you can do to make yourself feel better. 1. Get as much exercise as possible. Exercise smoothens blood flow and prevents metabolism. 2. Find a timing that's not raining and go out for a walk. Sun exposure improves the functions of all organs. 3. Take a bath before going to bed. By sweating, blood circulation improves, and unnecessary water and waste inside the body can be removed. Always remember that your body is more tired than usual, so try to get as much rest and sleep as possible. 2. Outbreak of bacterial food poisoning. Bacteria that cause food poisoning will spread much easier in a warm and humid environment. In order to avoid suffering from food poisoning, you must be careful of the following things. 1. Always keep cooking tools and hands clean. 2. Put food inside the fridge as soon as possible. 3. Cook food well to kill bacteria. 4. Eat meals within 2 hours after cooking. These are probably some of the things they would do anywhere in the world. But especially in this season in Japan, you need to be conscious that the cold season is over and that food will go bad much easier. 3. Increase of mites and molds. I'm very sorry we have to talk about such a disgusting topic, but it's something that can't be ignored. Just like the bacteria that spreads easier in our food, mites and molds will grow much faster during the warm and humid Tsuyu season. Mites will spread in carpets, stuffed toys, cushions, sofas, futon. Molds will spread in behind the chest of drawers, shower rooms, sinks, kitchen corners. They will cause allergies, asthma, and nasal inflammation. And to prevent this, we must create an environment with less humidity. These are some of the things that we can do. 1. Use a dehumidifier. 2. Use the dehumidifying function on air conditioners. 3. Open windows and closet doors on sunny days to ventilate. Especially if you have small kids like I do, keeping your house and furniture clean and safe would be even more important. So far, I've basically only talked about the negative points of the Tsuyu season. But don't worry, there are ways to enjoy this time of the year too. These are the top 3 things that I recommend to you. 1. Going outside to places that are regularly busy. 2. Going to see ajisai flowers. 3. Enjoying plum wine. 1. Going out to places that are regularly busy. Of course, going out on a rainy day is not as refreshing as on a sunny day. But in other words, it means that the restaurants or amusement parks that are usually very busy might have less people. If you don't mind getting a little wet, traveling in Japan during the Tsuyu season might help you to enjoy everything much smoother. Also, if you're coming to Kyoto, I really recommend you going to the shrines and temples on rainy days too. You might feel that's a little bit inconvenient, but the scenery that you get to see in the rain is somewhat special. I especially recommend the Zen temples like Ryoanji, Tenryuji, and Kenninji. In the slightly dark atmosphere, the scent of dirt starts to rise from the ground. You're the only one in the temple. You hear the distant voices of the monks reading sutras and a sound of raindrops gently hitting the leaves. It'll be an experience that you will never forget. 2. Going to see ajisai flowers. The representative flower that blooms during the Tsuyu season is surely the hydrangea, or in Japanese, called ajisai. You might have seen anime or movie scenes with ajisai having rain dew on their petals as a way to express the season. If you search prefecture name ajisai on the internet, you will find many gardens and temples that have beautiful ajisai flowers. In Kyoto, my recommendation is surely Fujimori Jinja, Fujimori Shrine, a shrine that was built by the Empress 1,800 years ago, which is known as the Palace of Ajisai. It has 2 Ajisai gardens within its precincts, with about 3,500 Ajisai flowers in many different kinds. It's also great that the shrine is not located in the center of Kyoto, so you can really enjoy a quiet and calm atmosphere. 3. Enjoying plum wine. Okay everyone, I have to admit, I made this video just to talk about this part. There are different foods and drinks that are made from plums in Japan, but the tastes tend to be quite sour, so even some Japanese people don't like it too much. So I thought plum wine might be something that more people can enjoy. If you look for plum wine, you will immediately realize that there are lots of kinds, just like beer and sake. But you don't have to worry. Just try out my recommendation, the Yamazaki plum wine. This plum wine is made by using the barrels they used to make the famous Yamazaki whiskey. So the flavor is sweet like regular plum wine, but it has a slight scent of whiskey. Some people find plum wine to be too sweet, but this one has a better balance thanks to the whiskey. You can buy this online on Amazon or at liquor shops, or you can look for restaurants that serve them. Just be careful that once you start drinking, you might not be able to stop. Then lastly, today's conclusion. Tsuyu is the rainy season from around June to mid-July that lasts for about 3 to 4 weeks, caused by the seasonal rain fronts that appear due to the cold air of winter-spring and the warm air of summer hitting each other. The name Tsuyu was originally written Meiyu, meaning mold rain in Chinese, but eventually changed the homonym Tsuyu, plum rain, for a nicer name. And it really is the timing when they would pick ripe plums. The 3 most important things to be careful of during Tsuyu are: 1. Physical and mental conditions. 2. Outbreak of bacterial food poisoning. 3. Increase of mites and molds. You have to be especially careful about your health, getting extra rest and exercise, taking care of food well, and dehumidifying the air as much as possible is highly recommended. My 3 recommended ways to enjoy the rainy season are 1. Going out to places that are regularly busy. 2. Going to see ajisai flowers. 3. Enjoying plum wine. If you're okay with a bit of rain, going to places that are regularly busy or visiting the temples and shrines with ajisai flowers would be a good idea. If you're going to try out a plum meal or drink, plum wine would be my favorite. Please check out the Yamazaki plum wine I introduced. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If this video made you want to travel in Japan during the Tsuyu season, please hit the like button to let me know. And my goal is to achieve 1 million subscribers by January 2023, so your help is what I need. In this channel, you can take a closer look at Japanese traditional culture, tips on traveling to Kyoto, and social problems in Japan. So learners and lovers of Japanese language and culture, be sure to subscribe to enjoy more content. And please check out our sub-channel Shogo's podcast and the membership of this channel through description box. Thanks again, and I'll see you in my next video. どうもありがとうございました。